patronizing, and parents have got to deal with that.
I like to kind of describe it as very arrogant.
Okay.
That's how I usually describe
I'll
school
go with arrogant.
personnel, except you, Dave.
Except for me. Thank you. Thank you. I got my grades in on time today. All right. What's the next one you got?
I think it's you. No, is it me or you?
Yeah,
it's me. Oh, okay.
Yep.
This is a bad one, and it's gonna. I have about.
It is a bad one. You're really kind of a
what's that?
Dark cloud.
I just call it the way I see it, Dave. This is what we just give it to you straight up. Real stories by real cops and a college professor and an out of work, unemployed comedian, Nathan. Yeah, I'm going to go with 3. I'm going to hit 3 in regards to the open border policy. And the first one is that drug deaths as it relates to fentanyl. Now, over the past year and a half, the U.S. Customs has confiscated probably around 11,000 pounds of fentanyl. However, prior to that, the most they've ever confiscated is 5,000. So you have
more than double.
You have a huge amount of fentanyl coming.
And there's more than enough already.
There's more than enough for everyone. Everyone who wants to have a fentanyl nap can get one.
And how deadly is fentanyl?
I'm not sure of the scientific term, but you can get a whiff of it. You can get some on your skin.
This is the
you can die from it. Oh. Absolutely. So it's 100% deadly if you don't have Narcan. And nowadays, a lot of drug addicts, agree or disagree, carry Narcan. They'll shoot up, and if they pass out or they go into defib, they have a heart attack and their heart stops, and if someone's next to them and they give them some Narcan, you might be able to save them. So that's where that's going. But what happened over the last year or so, there's 100,000 deaths related to drug abuse or drug use, and prior to that, there was only 75,000. So fentanyl, I don't know how many are fentanyl caused by fentanyl, because just being a crime statistics guy, you literally have to read through every report, and they might not have that information for another year or two.
Right.
How many were related to fentanyl in and of itself?
I think they're about what, 2 years. Most of these.
This is actually this year.
Oh,
that 100,000 is this year.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. So what the issue is, if you do heroin, then more likely than not, you're going to die. If you OD on pills, more likely than not, you will die at some point. But where it's really getting people, you have people who are like recreational drug users. They smoke marijuana. I know of 2 incidences in the last couple of months.
In the suburbs.
Yeah. All right, where normal working class kids in their 20s who all they do is smoke, or all they did was smoke pot occasionally. One of them died because the marijuana was laced with fentanyl, and the other one had to be brought back with Narcan. So that's the issue. You want to smoke a joint and they lace it with fentanyl, you're going to be done. And we all think fentanyl, well, it's a drug user, it's someone on the street, a homeless person.
Right.
They're not giving anything to society, so who cares? But it's not that, because you have normal college kids, high school age kids, working class people who just like to smoke a joint when they get out of work.
That's been the argument.
That's the issue.
That's been the argument for years, is that nothing becomes an issue until it comes to your backyard.
Absolutely.
In the backyard of people who are white suburban people. I mean, I know that's a simplification, but that's the...
So our message should be is that if you live in a state that has legalized marijuana like Massachusetts does, don't buy your marijuana from the street dealer anymore.
Oh, right away, I'm thinking to myself, this is the work of a giant big business enterprise that's flooding the market, the illegal
with fentanyl-laced marijuana.
Yeah,
so to bring it to the companies out there that are selling it, especially in Massachusetts.
I should write a comic book with ideas like that. We should write a comic book. I take it back. Okay, that's a happy one. All right, so more drug deaths related to fentanyl.
Yeah, and I think more drug deaths, more specific to people who aren't hardcore drug users.
Okay.
The guy or the girl or the teenager who smokes an occasional joint.
Yep. And what's the next one?
Well, is it you or me, Dave?
I think, you know something? Here's what I think.
What's that? What do you think?
I think you're going to do 1, 2, and 3 because they were linked.
Yeah, they are linked.
How are they linked together?
What's that? Well, 2 and 3 are linked.
Yeah.
And then 4 is, well, like I said, open border, and that's terrorists infiltrating the border.
Terrorists infiltrating
Absolutely.
the border? Oh, come on now.
They caught one the other day.
You do watch Fox News.
Up until 9/11, international terrorist groups, when they wanted to attack a U.S. target, they would attack a U.S. embassy.
Yep.
They would hijack an airliner in the Middle East.
Yep.
Remember TWA?
Yeah.
You want to know what the nickname for that was in the 80s? Terrorist World Airlines. All TWA flights were hijacked and from either Lebanese or Egyptian or Syrian or Libyan hijackers.
Yeah.
So, and if they wanted to blow up Americans, they'd go to a base.
Yeah. Why TWA, by the way?
I think TWA back at that point flew into the Middle East. That was like one of their big hubs. It was a huge airline.
Yeah, they were huge.
Yeah, so the more airlines you have, the more likelihood you're going to be able to infiltrate one of them. And then, like I said, if you were a terrorist and you wanted to kill some Americans, you drive a car bomb up to a military base in Germany, or if there are Americans out at a discotheque or wherever they're at, you just do it that way. But you know something? One of the why you couldn't do international terrorism in this country, because we had closed borders. You couldn't just come into the country. You just couldn't walk into the country. You have to be vetted. You have to get a passport. I worked in the embassies. It would take months and months and months to get a visa to come into this country. And I worked in the Middle East specifically.
Right.
Nowadays, you want to come into America and you're a terrorist or a budding terrorist.
Yep.
You get your ass down to South America, Mexico, however you get there, and you just walk straight, go north, and you come into the United States of America. And there you have it.
So you're saying this. You're saying that the guards at the border, the people at the border who are letting refugees come into the country.
It's not the guards, it's the U.S. government that's letting them in.
Well, who's actually letting them through the gates? Is it guards? Are they guards at the gates?
Were you talking down at the border?
Yeah.
There's no one out there. All the gates are open, Dave.
They have ushers? No, they have gates. They let them through, but they have...
They don't. You got to watch
I got to watch
Fox every night, will you?
Man.
They got aerial view of people just running through the prairie, swimming through the river.
All right.
On the back of a whirlpool washer.
I think of the Jimmy Tingle joke. You know how people also get into this country? They go on airplanes. So you think?
My opinion is that there will be more international terrorist groups who, up until 9/11 and going forward, present day, were unable to operate in the U.S., will be able to operate freely in the U.S. as a result of an open border policy. And where will they strike? If I was a terrorist, I would strike. First place I would go would be schools. I would go into the school system, elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, because you want to know why?
Don't lay this out for them.
They already know that. There was a.
So you think that they're going to go to a soft target? Where there were a lot of victims that we would be
very sympathetic toward.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that was horrible too.
That, or you go into a workplace, you go into a Hollywood type. What are the Grammy Awards coming up? You go into the Grammy Awards, you go into the Super Bowl, the World Series, any other sporting event.
Is the Super Bowl as soft a target?
It's one of the most highly militarized, protected things, because it's watched throughout the country, throughout the world.
Right.
So to be able to infiltrate the Super Bowl, you'd probably have to be an insider. But you want to know how you could infiltrate it? Very, very simple. Just like they did 9/11. You grab yourself a little plane and you just say, fuck it. You load it with some C4 and you get up as quick as you can. And if they can't get you to the Super Bowl, if they can't get you as you're coming in, you're going to win. Because you're dealing with human beings again.
Right.
You're dealing with humans. Yes. And someone has to spot what's going on. Someone has to see what's going on.
You see a low-tech solution.
What's that?
You see a low-tech solution.
I'm going to tell you this quick story. And it was 1985. And I was at the State Department Anti-Terrorism School. And we're sitting in class, and one of the State Department trainers comes in. He walks in. There's about 100 Marines in the room. And he goes, everyone look up. And he goes, look up. Look up. So we look up on the sky. We look up. We're in the classroom. We look up. We see the ceiling. He goes, what are you looking for? No one knew. He asked 10 guys, what are you looking for? He goes, that's where the next terrorist attack's going to come from. Because a lot of our embassies throughout the country and a lot of our government buildings in America have been hardened, all right, with bulletproof glass and closed circuit detection and all sorts of stuff.
Like a Pat Benatar song.
What's that?
They hardened my heart.
Yeah, so the targets, we've hardened targets of interest that we think other governments or other terrorist groups might try to infiltrate or bomb. He goes, all they're going to do is they're going to get an airplane. They're going to either hijack an airplane or they're going to have their own airplane and they're just going to fill it with explosives or they're just going to drive it right into a building. He said that in 1985. And guess what? In 2001, it happened.
Right.
And the weird thing, the disturbing thing about that is the U.S. government's stance was, we knew nothing about that. We didn't know that. We didn't know it was going to happen. I'll tell you, I was in class. It was April, all right, of 1985 in Quantico, Virginia. I remember that day.
I don't know. I don't know which is more unbelievable, that story or the fact that you were paying attention in class.
Oh, I was paying attention. I was a good student back then. I was like 20, 21 years old. I was a good student.
All right, we're going to go to mine. Did I get to go to mine?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. You've done 4. I've got 3 to go. Here's one. Oprah gets arrested for shoplifting.
I can see that.
That's the stress of being Oprah. You knew she had another side.
Oh yeah.
And now it's going to come out. She's going to get caught shoplifting. Who knows where? The dollar store.
The
Woolworths.
Is there still a Woolworth around?
No.
Is that a Massachusetts thing or is that a countrywide?
I think it was I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it was a New England thing, but I'm not sure if it extended beyond. But no, yeah, I don't know if the Woolworth's still around. We'll call it Macy's. I don't know where.
Macy's is
We'll say it's Macy's. She's in Macy's. Somebody looks and says, that lady looks like Oprah. No, it's not Oprah. It's not Oprah.
Why is she stealing a pack of condoms?
from Macy's? It's been a while since you've been to Macy's.
We were in Walmart. I'm sorry.
Man. No, we weren't in Walmart. We were never in Walmart.
I'm in Walmart.
You're always in Walmart. Right. It's you're
I buy my suits.
So that's one.
Yeah, that's a guy. I can believe that.
And just to be clear, we're saying this is a prediction. We're not saying she's done it. We're not slandering her.
Oh, she can sue us for. I think we have about $100 in our account. We've made $100 in the podcast so far, so she can have it.
Yeah, right. And remember, Oprah's lawyers. We just want to say, my name is Nathan Arroyo. No,
I'm Dale Lawrence. I have no record of who I am.
Yeah. He's a Fox listener, so he's off the grid, except for his cable bill. So that was, and then this one comes from a loyal listener. I was stuck. I only had 4 because I'm not that creative. So I get this one from a loyal listener, Brenda Pothier from elsewhere here in Massachusetts. Her prediction that she gave me was police in Seattle are banned from carrying firearms. Instead, they are taught interpretive dance designed to confuse the perp.
Oh, Jesus. Kind of like a mime. Is that interpretive dance? A mime? Is that?
To you, it would be. But no, not to an interpretive dancer. No. But similar.
I can, I don't think that's
like
Britain. That's what they have in Britain. Do they still have that in Britain? They don't have.
They have interpretive dance.
Oh well, they don't. A lot of them don't carry guns.
I would think. Yeah, they don't. They carry weapons, but they don't carry guns.
Yeah.
So there's that. That was a pretty good prediction.
That was a good
Seattle,
one.
of course, being fairly. What would we call it?
Seattle's a hotbed for Antifa. That's what I call it. I don't know what you call it, or you call it whatever. What are you going to say?
I call it the home of the Seattle Mariners.
All right.
Anyway, so that was her prediction. I like that one.
Absolutely,
I like that one.
yeah, sure.
I don't think mimes would work.
No, okay.
It'd be like mimes can't stop crimes.
If I was a cop in Seattle, you know what I'd do?
What's that?
Sell my house and go down to Florida because Florida is welcoming police officers down there. I saw something on TV the other day. I should have read it more thoroughly. I didn't, but they had their first class of graduating officers who had transferred from different parts of the country.
Oh, that's interesting.
You typically don't have to go through a police academy again, like running around and yelling and screaming military. Like I would think that you would just have to go down there for probably maybe 6 to 8 weeks and just do their laws, their policies and procedures, motor vehicle law, their criminal laws and stuff like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I was thinking of dusting off the uniform and unretiring and heading down to Florida.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't think they'd take me because I used to take 30 sick days a year.
Oh, that's bad. Only 30.
Only 30.
30, and then the chief would say, "Take some more, Dale. Take some more." All right, so you got one more, and I got one more.
Yeah, I got one more, and this is another one that's related to the open border policy. And this is a gang thing because South American gangs are notoriously brutally violent.